All right, I'm on my phone with G right now from California. How we doing tonight, G?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
All right. So tell me, I guess your parents are from Argentina.
Yeah, my dad's from Buenos Aires and my mom's from Mendoza, Argentina.
Okay. And how old are they now?
My mom is going to turn, let's see, we're 2019. She's going to turn 83 in April 18th. And my dad's just turned 80 in February.
Well, God bless them.
Yeah.
And how old were they when they came to the United States?
They came in 1965.
Oh wow.
So I think they were probably like in their late 20s
Oh.
when they came.
So what did they do? Just hop on an airplane and said we're coming to America?
Yeah, well, my uncle Eduardo first came here with his wife and my aunt actually, and they came and then they told my parents all about it, and then they talked them into coming here, and so they hopped on the plane and came out here with just $3 in their pocket and started their lives here, renewed their lives.
And where's that? In Southern California?
Yeah, in L.A.
Los Angeles. $3 in their pocket. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So were they married before they came to California?
Yeah, they were married for like a couple years, I think.
Oh wow. So they didn't have to come here illegally then.
No.
So did they have to seek asylum or anything like that?
Nope, they just got their green cards and they came over.
So did they have to, when they got here, they had their green cards, and then they just applied for citizenship after that point?
Yeah, they applied for citizenship in, I think it was like the late 80s. They studied everything and did their Pledge of Allegiance and all that, and then they got certified, and so now they're legal U.S. citizens.
Sounds pretty simple compared to what it is now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, even back in the 80s, there were still a lot of people waiting in line to get it done. So it sounds like there was a pretty big gap from 1960, you said they came here, to 1980?
Yeah.
What took so long?
They were okay with the green card, but then just to make sure, they decided to become U.S. citizens after so many years. They didn't give me a reason why it took so long.
Yeah. Well, they probably had to go to school and they'd do all that stuff. And
oh yeah, that took a while too. It took like about a year or two, I think.
Yeah. Did they speak good English when they came here, or?
No, they pretty much learned English when they got here. They went to night school and stuff and studied English, and and then they had me where I learned Spanish by speaking it at home.
Yeah.
Because that's all they spoke was Spanish at home, so that's how I learned to be bilingual.
Right. And your dad, what did he do for work when he came to America?
Well, my uncle was a machinist, so that's how he got his first job, was to be a machinist at a machine shop, doing parts for the spacecraft and stuff, and airplanes. Even my dad took me to work one time, and they were doing these things for the airplane engine, these tubes and stuff, and they were machining the steel.
Oh.
So they go in the engines.
He was a machinist then.
Yeah.
And did your mom, was she stay-at-home mom at that time?
At the time, yeah, but then they needed a two income, so she was a cake decorator back in Argentina.
Oh, okay.
And so she's kept on her profession, and finally, back in 1984, they bought their first bakery. And that's where I ended up working for a long time.
Yeah, I remember we had the bakery in Santa Ana there.
Yeah.
So So did your dad continue to be a machinist while the bakery was operating and starting to get going? Was he like kind of working two jobs there, getting the bakery and the machinist, doing that type of thing, and
No,
doing all
actually,
that?
as soon as they opened the bakery where they took over the business when they bought it, my dad quit his job and started working at the bakery.
Started going 24 hours a day there, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know your parents because we've been friends for over 30 years now, and I remember
Yeah,
your dad and your mom and you and your brother were always working at that bakery,
yeah,
and the bakery was located really in a pretty much a Latino neighborhood in Santa Ana, California. If people don't know where that is, it's a pretty big Latino population there, and
yeah. It's a couple blocks from Modern Day High School, where a lot of people know that high school.
mhm. So, and when you were born, where did you live when you were born?
We lived in somewhere in LA, or I was born in Gardena, but we were living close to there in an apartment.
Hmm.
I was born in 1967, so 2 years after they came here to the States.
So you were a natural born citizen at that point.
Yeah,
What that? Well, it's good to hear stories that from what you hear now with the battle of the border and all these poor families coming over. I say poor, they really are poor. They've got to walk thousands of miles to get here, and then you have lawyers telling them how to get in the country, for asylum and all that stuff. But along
right,
with it, you get all these drug dealers and the cartel and human trafficking nowadays, and it's pretty sad. And it's pretty sad that we've got 100,000 people expected at the border this year. What are your
hmm
thoughts on that compared to what your family went through coming here? Pretty much seemed to be so easy. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it kind of upsets me because my parents, did everything legally, back in their days, and now it's like people are just coming over um, willingly, without or illegally without doing their proper steps and stuff.
Yeah,
That kind of upsets me.
doesn't seem kind of fair that
No,
your family did everything the right way, and then these people just jumped the fence basically, and say the right words that they're declaring, that they have won asylum from their country, and just because they want a better life, which I don't blame them. Everybody wants a better life, but hey,
right,
we've paid our taxes. We're not going to be able to support them.
yeah,
We can barely support the ones that are here now. And when I say the ones, that sounds kind of inhumane, but that's just phrasing it the right way, I guess. But
hmm
and I guess where you're at right now, in California. I see on the news you got a lot of homeless people there that are coming over right now, don't you?
yeah. We had it pretty bad over here in Anaheim, not in Anaheim Hills where I live. In the city of Anaheim, they had a problem, especially in the riverbeds. They camp out um, and then ended up in this actually in the area of the city of Anaheim,
Hmm.
where a lot of them were homeless and really disrupting um, the area.
Yeah, leaving their trash behind, dirty needles,
Yeah,
and all that stuff. And that's not necessarily the people that are coming over, but just the housing. If you've got 100,000 people coming over the border, where do you put them?
exactly.
That's the thing. Where do you house them? How do you feed them? That's the big question. And that's the main concern. It's the crisis what's going on now. And I guess Donald Trump he's planning on closing the border down. Maybe this week. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
Well, they're saying they're going to lose like $1.7 billion a day if he does that in in commercial products coming over
Yeah,
the border. So I don't know. I'm kind of wondering, what's going to happen.
that's a lot of avocados.
Yeah.
No guacamole today.
No.
It's no laughing matter, but the fact is, I think he's got to make a stand and say, "Hey, look, I'm not playing here," because I don't understand how these caravans can just come up through Mexico and just them not do anything. Because I feel
Right.
bad for like Tijuana and the San Diego thing there. How they're all backed up there. Because when we were teenagers, we can go to Tijuana, have a good time, and come back home with no issues. And that was not even 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Things change now. You can't even do that. So we really do have a crisis at the border. And I'm glad he did declare a state of emergency for what we got going on now. But your family is one of the great success stories that we have come, and it's not all Mexicans. It's Latinos that have come. Your family came from Argentina, and I know your family very well. And actually, your family was in business with my family at one point. And your family has a great success story being in the bakery business. They made a good amount of money and very successful. And you can do it, and you can do it the right way, and they don't have to come over here the wrong way. I think the problem we have in this country is the system's broken.
Right.
It's not fast enough. We can't process fast enough is the problem. We can't house fast enough. And there's just way too many people coming at once. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
So no real way to slow it down. You can't have 100,000 people coming in a month. There's just no way to do that.
Yeah.
So do you believe that Donald Trump should be building more wall?
Oh yeah.
And how do people in Southern California feel about that, since you have such a big immigration problem there?
Well, being like Orange County, like the only Republican county pretty much in the state, so dealing with the Democrats, they're in they don't want the wall being built, which is why do you not want to be protected?
Yeah.
And so I see a lot of it on Facebook where people that I know that are Democrats are totally against it, and I'm like, why? But I don't want to get into it because I'm not a political person,
right?
So I don't argue with it.
Right. Well, it's not really an argument. I think he's going to get it done anyway, either way. But I just feel bad for these folks. It can be done the right way, but I think just the problem is there's just too much coming at once. It's kind of like a pipe is broken, It's just it's a flood. We problem have. I think that's a pretty good analogy. It's a flood, and the only way to fix the flood is to cut the source off. Shut the water main off. I think that's what we have to do for an immediate Band-Aid anyway. But anyway, well, gee, it was really great talking with you, and I wish your family the best. And you have anything else to say?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it. And well, it was a great interview, and I look forward to talking with you again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, take care.
All right, you too.